Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Vintage Motocross Q&A. I'm your host, Joe Abate. I want to thank Jordan, Chelsea, and Susie, everyone that helps put this show together every week. And I want to thank you, the viewers, for tuning in tonight. But right now, let's get down to the starting line, and I'll tell you more about the show. Starting line, of course, is sponsored by Motion Pro products. And tonight, the next time, try this segment. I'm going to show you a Motion Pro tool you're going to really like. In the Moto Showcase, a 1975 RM 125M. It sits in a museum. I'm going to tell you more about it. And here's the problem segment. I'm going to tell you how to get something clean with a little soft scrub and a sponge, and it's a pretty good tip. In the What's It Worth segment, nice CR little 125 that was sold recently on eBay. I'm looking forward to telling you more about that bike as well. The 522 project continues. We're doing something with the cylinder tonight. Don't forget to share the show. If you're on Facebook, just reach down to your phone, or if you're on your computer, please share the show with some of your friends. And if you are on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, comment AMSOIL. We're going to be giving away some AMSOIL products a little bit later on in the show. So if you're watching from YouTube, please comment AMSOIL, and somebody's going to win some really great stuff a little bit later on. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can watch all of our shows in HD. If you subscribe, you can also listen to all the interviews from Vintage Motocross Radio. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you do, you get a little signal like that. Once our show's coming up, you can enjoy all of our shows in HD on your big screen TV. I want to thank our sponsors, AMSOIL, Motion Pro, Vintco, Full Circle Racing, Preston Petty Products, and of course, Nightmare Racing. Thanks for all you do. Welcome to the Next Time Try This segment, which is sponsored by Vintco. Vintco, keep the ride going. This week, I want to talk to you a little bit about this great tool I found from Motion Pro. It's a gasket scraper. I really love how it feels. It's a good, sturdy tool. It's got a very sharp blade on it. We're going to get close right now, and I'm going to show you exactly how this little guy works and why you should buy one. This gasket is on the base of this cylinder. It's on here pretty good. But as you can see, when you go to pull off a piece of it, you'll always have a little section stuck on whatever surface it might be. It could be a cylinder, it could be a clutch cover, it could be a set of cases. So let's try this little tool from Motion Pro. And I like the angle of this too, the way the blade is angled, how you can hold it in your hand and really get down there with a little leverage on it and begin to scrape that gasket right away. And it does a nice job of getting all the little glue and pieces of gasket that are on there, get them all off. It's just a real nice way to remove gaskets safely and cleanly from whatever it is that you're working on. There it is, gasket scraper from Motion Pro. Also comes with a little extra blade in there too. Well, that's it for the Next Time Try This segment. I want to thank Vintco for being a sponsor, and I want to suggest that you guys get over to Motion Pro and get yourself one of these little gasket scrapers. It's a great item to have in your toolbox. In the Moto Showcase tonight, we take a look at a 1975 RM that was sent to us from our viewer, Gerald Timms. Gerald says that he bought this bike back in 2006 from Jeff Weir. And at that time, he was a Suzuki dealer, and he bought it to display on his showroom floor. At the time, Jeff was restoring some other RMs and TSs. He did a very nice job. He polished the triple clamps. All the hardware is correct with the little S's on the hardware. It's also got the correct grips on it. Presently, this bike sits in the Seba Station Motorcycle Museum on Route 66 here in Oklahoma, if anybody would like to take a look at it. I really love this bike. It's one of my favorite bikes back from the mid-70s. And as you can see, the plating, the hardware, the spokes, he's even got those great fork protectors on the front. The silencer looks correct. The tires. I love everything about this bike, and I want to thank Gerald Timms for sending this into us here for the Moto Showcase. Gerald, I have your address, and I'm going to be sending you some stickers, compliments of fastguystuff.com. Anybody else out there has a bike they would like me to feature here on the show, please inbox me. We'll figure out a way for you to get me some pictures. We'll feature you here on the show, and you can get some fastguystuff.com stickers for participating. Thanks again, Gerald Timms. Here's the problem. Got some interesting questions coming in this week. Jordan, what's the first one up? Mike Padilla. Joe, I'm trying to find vintage tread pattern to match the Bridgestones that came on an early Elsinore. Do we have any suggestions? Yeah, I do, Mike. There's a product out there. It's called V-Brand Rubber. They make a great tire. It's called Vintage Reserve. And here's a pair right here on this 74 CR 125. The tread pattern is very, very close to some of the tread patterns we remember from 1974-75. You can find these available in pairs on eBay, but when you do, if they're in pairs, make sure you read things carefully. You want the same tread pattern for the front as the back. I've seen in some instances where it was the Vintage Reserve for the rear, but it wasn't in the front. So be careful when you look through your eBay auctions, or go find a V-Brand distributor and you'll be able to buy them from them. I've used these on a couple of my restorations. Customers like them, and it's really not a bad tire if you're a racer too. They've sponsored a lot of races out east. V-Brand Rubber has. A lot of guys are using it. V-Brand. Mike Padilla, thanks for sending in the question. Ann Walker, Joe, I'm trying to bring these fork boots back to life. Any suggestions for brightening them up? Yeah, I do. What you want to do is get yourself some soft scrub and a sponge. Now, Ann has sent me pictures right here. She said she did some work on them, but she couldn't get them as bright as she wanted them. So I would suggest using some soft scrub and a sponge like this that has that little scouring pad on one side. Do it under warm water. Be very liberal with the soft scrub and rub gently. It's going to take some time, but all the stains, all the dirt that is embedded in that rubber will come out. I've done this numerous times. I did it on a set of Kawasaki fork boots. It came out beautiful. After you're done, what you want to do is use Mudslinger by Amsoil. It really, really gets into the rubber. It makes it soft and pliable. It gives it a nice shine, not overdone, but that's great stuff too. Mudslinger from Amsoil, soft scrub, and a sponge like that, and you're going to have those fork boots looking pretty good in no time. Steve English. Last week on the show, you were grinding aluminum with a stone wheel. This is a bad idea as the stone loads up with aluminum. Steve English, you're exactly correct. You're exactly correct. And I shouldn't have been using a regular grinding stone to do that. In fact, shouldn't really have to grind aluminum that much at all. If you were going to do it, you could do it with an angle grinder with some sanding discs like Rolock discs, or if you wanted to do it the right way and you're going to be grinding more aluminum than you would at any other time, you want to use a green silicon carbide grinding wheel like this. Not a good idea to use a regular grinding wheel. Steve English, I want to thank you for sending in that question, and you are correct. It really, really wasn't the right tool to use at that point on that job. We're going to take a commercial break right now, but don't forget, share it. If you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, please comment Amsoil. When we get back a little bit later on, we're going to be giving away an Amsoil special to one of our listeners tonight.
Hi guys, Brandon here with Motion Pro, bringing to you the world's first non-leaking cable luber. You heard me right. Non-leaking cable luber. Motion Pro has designed a very ingenious tool. It's very simple to use. There's two halves and a rubber grommet that seals the canister around the cable. By connecting the two halves together, you create a compression fit. Now once that's tight, you insert the straw for your cable lube. Of course, I'm going to recommend Motion Pro's very best cable lube. You insert the straw in the end of the cable luber. You fill the fluid into the canister, and there's nowhere else for the fluid to go but into the cable. It's quick, it's clean, it's affordable at $19.99, available from your retailers nationwide. Motion Pro Cable Luber V3, get it today. Keep your cables fresh.
In the What's It Worth segment tonight, we take a look at a 1982 Honda CR125. This bike recently sold on eBay, and the seller says that it went through the gears normally and the bike runs great. Considering its age, it's in very good condition. It's fun. It still gives me a thrill when I open the throttle. It runs great, it's fast, and it's just a wonderful bike. If you're familiar with these first generation water-cooled two-strokes, then you most likely know what this bike can do. I personally thought this was a fabulous deal at $1,500. Yeah, the plastic has been replaced on the bike, the fenders and the side panels. But overall, the bike had nice rubber on it, The rims look great. They weren't all gouged up. You could see it right here in the picture. I mean, look at the swing arm. Swing arm looks like it's in great condition, like it hasn't been abused. I can't really tell if that frame's been repainted. It looks awfully nice. It probably was. The pipe's got a little dent in it here and there, but really overall, you can't find a bike these days that runs for 1,500 bucks. You really can't. That runs well and looks this nice. Look at the front wheel too. It's nice and round. There's no gouges in it. The tires are nice. For 1,500 bucks, I thought this was a great deal on eBay, and I want to thank Preston Petty Products for sponsoring this segment of What's It Worth. Speaking of Preston Petty, 10% off across the board on everything on the Preston Petty website. Front fenders, rear fenders, baseball caps, grips, whatever Preston Petty has available, it's available to you at 10% off for being a viewer of Vintage Motocross Q&A. And the free t-shirt deal continues. So once you check out, after you get the code from me, when you inbox me, when you check out, you can contact Paul or he's going to contact you. You're going to get a free t-shirt along with 10% off anything you buy at Preston Petty. Thank you, Paul Standard, for all you do. The 522 project continues. If you've been following it all along, you know that we are replicating a 1974 Honda RC125, just like the one Marty Smith rode in the 125 Nationals. I want to thank our sponsor, Full Circle Racing, for helping us out with this segment. Shortly after this, we're going to be telling you about a real nice special from Full Circle Racing. Today's tip on the 522 project isn't directly involved with it only, but something that you're going to be able to do if you're rebuilding a top end and you want to freshen up your cylinder and head. What you're going to need is some brake clean. I like to use the one by Amsoil, a couple of different types of masking tape, and a real sharp X-Acto knife. I'll show you how to mask off that cylinder, get it all prepared so you're going to be able to paint it like a professional. I take a little brake cleaner and I make sure I clean off the surface. I want to make my tape a little bit wider than the surface I'm looking to cover, and I make sure I overlap that tape. For this video, although you don't have to do this, I ran a pen around it so you could see the line. After I get the line there, I take my X-Acto knife and I go carefully around the top of the cylinder, right where the gasket surface ends, and I just go around there nice and easy. And as I pull off that tape, it leaves a nice crisp line, so where the paint, it's not going to affect the gasket surface. I do the same thing on the exhaust. I use a little thinner tape here so I can move it around the exhaust because it's round. And once again, I overlap that blue tape over and then I cut it. Also, that green tape underneath leaves a nice surface for the blue tape to stick to. I do the same thing on the bottom of the cylinder. It takes a little more time, but it's really worth the effort. Same thing on the intake at the rear, a little brake clean. I go across the blue tape again. With all your tape nice and tight, you're going to have no problem now getting some prime and paint on that cylinder and getting a real nice finish where your gasket surfaces are clean when you're done and everything's going to look just the way it should. Once again, I want to thank my friend Tom McAllister and Full Circle Racing. Here comes a special. Full Circle Racing this week has a special that will go on until October 31st, black or silver, 19-inch and 21 front. They retail for $290. Full Circle is going to have a special for VMXQ&A viewers, $240. That's $240, $50 off. They're available for most Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, CZ, Husqvarna, and Makos. Be sure to tell Tom McAllister that you saw it here on the show. You're going to get $50 off. Now, that's just on the hoop. It doesn't have anything to do with the lacing, the truing, or the spokes, but $50 off, black and silver, 19 and 21-inch rims from Full Circle Racing. Tom McAllister, thanks so much. In the product spotlight tonight, we take a look at a real nice product from Vinco. It's a cylinder sleeve. It fits the 1974 through 76 YZ125s. A lot of these cylinders are getting worn out. They're on their last bore, but Vinco once again comes up with a product that not a lot of people have. This is a great piece. It's high quality cylinder sleeve. They're made with modern materials and manufacturing techniques to ensure an as good or better fit than OEM. All dimensions are provided for an experienced and qualified machinist to install this sleeve in a cylinder. The sleeve will be able to be bored. You can hone it. It's just a great way to really revive your 74 through 76 YZ125. This is available from Vitco for $129.95. You can see all the dimensions once you go on their website. Just a great way to keep your old bike going. $129.95. Get a lot more mileage out of that 74 through 76. YZ125. Thanks, Vitco. Nightmare Racing, still going strong with their special on black gloss plastic. This is black gloss only, 10% off till the end of the month. You can inbox me for a code, or when you call Mark Hildebrand, you tell him that you saw it here on Vintage Motocross Q&A. You're going to get 10% off. Black gloss only. Thanks, Nightmare Racing. We're going to take a commercial break. Keep sharing the show. A random sharer is going to win something from AMSOIL tonight. Comment on Facebook, or share on Facebook and comment on YouTube. Comment AMSOIL.
Classic and vintage dirt bikes are more than a hobby. It's not just about the ride. It's about the work that goes in. The work that keeps you connected to the ride. It's about bringing the bike back to life and doing it with your own hands. It's about the adrenaline and adventure. And when it comes to putting all the pieces together, only Vinco knows the bikes and parts the way you do. Vinco, keep the ride going.
Vinco, keep the ride going, as they say. While we were in that commercial, Susie came in and gave me the name Michael Davis. Michael Davis is the random share winner tonight. Michael, if you can get in touch with me, inbox me, and we'll give you a choice of a couple of different things that are available from AMSOIL. Got some great things. I've got them all here in the shop. Whole bunch of different kinds of oils, mudslinger, engine fogging oil. I've got some really great items here, and I want to get you at least a couple of them. And I'm going to wind up giving you a mouse pad, and I've got some other cool stuff here from AMSOIL too. They've been taking really, really good care of us. So, Mike Davis, inbox me your address, and we'll discuss what you want to get from AMSOIL, and I'll get it out in the mail to you. Thanks, AMSOIL, and thank you, Mike Davis, for watching the show and sharing. Just how I see it. Well, I'll tell you how I see it. I believe that when somebody does something good for you, you should play it forward, and you should give it back to maybe some others and share. Now, I had something very interesting happen to me earlier this week. Actually, it was last week. On my personal page, I had posted a video of a 1983 Honda CR 250 that Jack Henry Lee had sent me to restore. After looking at the bike, I made the video and I explained to people why I thought the bike should not be restored. There were over 150 comments agreeing with me and over 350 likes. As I said, the bike was sent to me by Jack Henry Lee. Now, Jack, in perhaps the most generous gesture I have ever seen in over 20 years of being involved in vintage motocross, gave me the motorcycle. You heard me right. Jack Henry Lee gave me that 1983 Honda CR125. And in the comment section, if you look, he said to me, for all you and Susie have done to promote vintage motocross over the years, this is my gift to you. Do with it as you please. You can sell it, you can keep it, do whatever you want. Well, as I said, I want to play it forward, and being Jack Henry Lee gave me that bike sometime in 2021. I'm going to be giving that bike away. We here at Vintage Motocross Q&A are going to be giving away that bike that you see right there in that picture that was given to us by Jack Henry Lee. So it's not going to be a raffle. It's not going to be a fundraiser. I don't want money involved. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it yet, what kind of a program we are going to set up, but I think what I want from it is the page to grow, is the show to grow, to get more people here to watch the program. Somebody's going to win this 1983 Honda CR250. It's going to be early in the 2021 year. I want to thank Jack Henry Lee for his most generous gift, and I want to thank everybody here who's watching the show, who's been sharing it, who has given us all of the support throughout the past 52 weeks. Somebody here is going to win themselves a motorcycle. I am also going to be bringing in the sponsors from the show on this. I'm not asking anything from them, but I will want to share this giveaway on their page, I'll have their names along with the bike when we give it away. I think this is going to catch on like wildfire. And I'll tell you what, being from California, I know what wildfire catches on like. So Jack Henry Lee, blessings to you, my friend, and to everybody that watches Vintage Motocross Q&A. You keep watching, because we're going to come up with some type of thing, some way, to get this bike into your hands in the coming months. Jack, again, thank you so much. This week in motocross history, it was 2007 in Budds Creek. I was there, and it was absolutely amazing. It was a gorgeous day in Maryland in 2007 for the FIM motocross. And just the second time the race had been held in the USA. The Budds Creek race was something of a changing of the guard for American motocross, because it was Ricky Carmichael's last professional race, as well as Ryan Villopoto's stunning ascent onto the world stage in motocross. Riding a Suzuki, Carmichael wins with MX1 with a 3-1 score, overcoming a first-turn crash that put him from last all the way back to third place. He wins in the last moto and gets away with a third to teammate Tim Ferry. But it was Villopoto who commands the event, disappearing with the lead and runaway wins in both MX2 motos, marking the first time in motocross of nation's history that a smaller bike rider wins the overall outright. Already a two-time AMA 250cc Pro Motocross champion, Villopoto is just at the beginning of what will be one of the most epic careers in motocross history. And that happened today in 2007. We've got some announcements for you tonight. Jordan, what do we got up first? My interview with Tony D this weekend was absolutely awesome. Let's listen to a couple of sound bites from that, and I'll tell you what's going on the show next week, or this coming Sunday.
8 years old, District 6, a Yamaha twin, 100 twin. Back in Eastern PA here.
That was your first race, Tony, at 8 years old?
Yes, scrambles.
Wow.
I was 8 years old. I remember clearly, Emass, Pennsylvania. It's right near Allentown. It was a mud race, all foggy. Had a bubble shield kept fogging all up.
On October 13th in 1988, you were out for a leisurely ride, a place you'd been numerous times when you were a kid. And I know, like many of us, we all take a spill, but on that day you took one, and it changed your life forever.
Florence, New Jersey. I live right on Bristol's on the river. Where I live is close to the Delaware River. New Jersey's on the other side.
Yeah.
And it was a sandy place, so it'd be great to ride there in the winter time. Since I've been about 12 years old, because if it rained, it was even better. I was done racing professional. I know I was just out, I was out in Southern California, was out Suzuki to sign a new deal and visit sponsors, and then the Race of Champions was coming up. So I would still ride. The promoters would like me to ride. I would ride the senior class or something. And then the young guys would like, I beat one-eyed champion.
But
some of the expert or the local guys would give their thrills, but it was good getting attention for the schools. So since I didn't ride for a couple weeks, just out riding sand and just hit. A stump was there. I mean, it's not like a track. They actually put all berms and stuff, so you couldn't even get in there. And I just got hit as like a stump, and it pulled the handlebars. It was like fan whoops.
Yeah.
Fan whoop. Pulled the handlebars and high-sided and went head first into a whoops. And no big deal. And felt like it knocked the wind out of me. And I've done that enough times. You feel like you're dying, but it come to, it was just starting to get a little dark, and so feeling okay, even your boots, you really can't moving your feet. And I always thought, I go, man, I'm glad I got out when I got out, because Supercross started to get crazier with these jumps, and I only got hurt a knee one time. I got my whole life now. It's been with my kid. My son was 1 year old, and my daughter was just 9 days old.
wow.
And that's it. The vertebrae broke.
Tony DeStefano sharing all the details with us about his amazing career and his debilitating accident. This week on Vintage Motocross Radio, my guest will be Joe Bonello. Now, Joe Bonello has been in the motorcycle industry for well over 40 years. You know his work. He's a very, very famous photographer. He was also a test rider for many magazines and had an absolutely amazing career. I spent some time on the phone speaking to Joe Bonello recently, and he's going to be telling us some really great stories. So at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning, Pacific Standard Time, please join me for the Joe Bonello interview. And by the way, I'm going to get out ahead of myself a little bit here. I did send a message in to David Bailey today. David Bailey will be on our show sometime in the future. So tune in for Joe Bonello on Sunday. Maybe by then I'll know a little bit more about David Bailey. Oh, there's a race coming up, which is great because there haven't been that many this season. Sunday, October 4th and Sunday, October 11th. The old school scrambles will be held down in Glen Helen. There's a free giveaway. I think Rod Lake still gives away or let kids sign up for free if it's their first race. Tammy and Ralph Greenhill have been giving back the sport of vintage motocross for many, many, many years. And I want to just tell everyone, if you can, get down to Glen Helen, October 4th or October 11th for that old school scrambles race. Vintage Motocross Q&A T-shirts are still available, just $21.99. Got that great logo across the front, has my autograph across the back at no extra charge. Go into the description of the show. There's a link. You can go order one today. Vintage Motocross Q&A sponsorship opportunities are still available. You can get some of the benefits that the same people are getting here from Motion Pro, Full Circle Racing, Nightmare, Vinco, AMSOIL. They're all seeing results. The show's reaching over 20,000 people a week. A lot of people are commenting on all the things that we've been doing. And I'll tell you what, with this 1983 Honda CR250 giveaway coming up, when we start to promote that, so many people are going to be seeing it. So many people are going to be talking about it. I'm sure it's going to really be something amazing. So if you want to become a sponsor of the show, inbox me. I will get you a proposal. We'll work something out that fits your budget to get you on board to become a sponsor of Vintage Motocross Q&A. Well, that wraps up our 51st episode of Vintage Motocross Q&A. I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. Tune into the page tomorrow, the Vintage Motocross Q&A. I think I'm going to have some questions regarding the bike giveaway that we will be doing in the near future. I want to hear your opinion on a few things. And thank you again for tuning in. Don't forget the radio show on Sunday. Gino? There he is. Okay. Good night. Night, everyone. Thank you. Got it, Gino?